It's an evolution. That's why I like this stuff. It's like a chess game that, like, you get to. It's a chess game with a thrill. That's my mentality of drag racing. Chess game with a thrill. Well, guys, welcome back to the Hustlin' Horsepower, and I'm thankful it's kind of dark out here because I need a haircut. But it is Friday night, about 11 o'clock at night, and we just did some organizing. So we got the four-door body here, and we got the real build going on over there. This car we're going to turn into a street strip car. I know a lot of you guys ask about that at some point. This is the four-door body that is sitting on the modified old former homegrown Hustler chassis. And a lot of you ask, why don't you just run this car? Why don't you just run this car? Guys, y'all don't understand how fast we have to go in this small tire no prep stuff that's going on. The four-door body just ain't going to cut it. There's a lot of like bones, right? Someone that has really small bones that's like, 4'6", you're not going to be an NFL lineman. Okay, you just ain't. It's just, there's just bones to it, right? You could have all the good footwork, you could have all the right moves, you could have all the right speed, this, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't got the right bones, you're going to get beat up. And we can't afford to get beat up out here. So that's why we're building the new, I think we're going to call it the natural born Hustler pickup truck. Pickup truck's going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit better wheelbase, a little bit better engine placement, a little bit better position of where the main hoop is in correlation to the rear axle, front or mid plate to rear axle. It's just a little bit more beneficial and should be a couple 100 pounds lighter than the four-door body. So, why did I go into all that? I know you got a lot of guys ask. I love this car. I absolutely love this four-door car. It reminds me of the old Dirty 30. If you guys didn't follow along back when we had that, yes, that's me. The Dirty 30 four-door Plymouth sedan that I pulled out of a barn, 1930 Plymouth. It was on 1320 video, all over Street Racing Channel and 1320 video and Drag Week and Hot Rod Magazine and RPM Magazine and some magazines over in Australia and stuff like that. That car was freaking cool. That was a legit barn find. Sat in a barn since 1956. I pulled it out of a barn in like 2016, I think it was. 2016, 2015, or whatever it was. Literally pulled it out of a barn and built that whole car. And I'm going to do a video on the Dirty 30. And unfortunately, I'm not too good at this YouTube stuff. And back then, I didn't do like I did social media, but like I was too busy working. I worked literally like I was working when I built that car. I was literally working like over 120 hours a week. Literally, like I'd work 60 hours, 60, 70 hours of work at work. Monday, or actually I switched my schedule, so I had off during the week. I had off like Wednesday, Thursday. No. Wednesday, yeah, I had off Wednesday, Thursday. So at one point, Let's Race Cars, they're friends of mine. I crewed with them for a while, traveled with them a little bit, and they said, hey, I was doing a lot of this work in my mom's like garage, like snowing out and stuff like that, building the Dirty 30. Well, those guys were like, hey, bring the car down here. It's 3.5 hours away, but you guys, you will give you full access to the shop and get busy on it. So that was down in Pittsburgh, 3.5 hours away from where I lived. So I'd leave, I'd have to clock into work at 11 o'clock. I'd leave there at 7 o'clock and haul butt up to New York to clock in. And I'd work generally a double and a double, off a little bit, work a double, off a little bit, work a double, and then I'd get off at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, sorry. And usually by 8:30, I was on the highway, 8:15, on the highway, shooting back down. And I'd work, get down there, whatever, 10 o'clock. And at that time, the guys at Lutz Race Cars, senior and junior, they were working on the 57, the yellow 57, the one that he lost. Actually, shortly, whatever, on the TV show, Street Outlaws. So we were working side by side, and we both worked a lot, like basically 24 hours a day. We were working on those cars, and I got a lot of respect for that guy. But yeah, going back to it, I'm gonna do a video on the homegrown or the Dirty 30 build at some point. But I didn't take a lot of pictures because I was busting my butt getting that car done for Drag Week, and the guys over in Australia were busting my butt. And on the third pass, I cut a 000 light, and I put like 3 bus lengths on them. Sorry, Harry, gotcha. But that was a pretty cool moment. 1320 got that on the video. And I wasn't sure. I thought I had an 890 pass in it, like literally the third time. Maybe the fourth time it went over like 50 miles an hour, like ever. And I thought I had a tune-up in it to go at 890. But yeah, I forgot I pulled like 5 degrees of timing out of the whole freaking thing. And this was when the Dirty Theory was still in gasoline. I pulled like 5 degrees of timing out of it, and that's like a couple hundred horsepower, and it went like a 918 or something like that. And 918, and we've been like 15 miles an hour faster, 918 in the quarter, and we've been like 15 miles an hour faster than that, over 15 miles an hour faster than that, to the eighth, on small tires, and no prep since then. So yeah, it's an evolution. That's why I like this stuff. It's like a chess game that, like, you know, you get to, it's a chess game with a thrill. That's my mentality of drag racing. Chess game with a thrill. There's a lot of knowledge that goes into it. There's a lot of intricacies that go into it. There's a lot of studying that goes into it. It might look like it's very boring, or like you're just going in a straight line, but there's a lot to go into it to make it look that smooth. And it's a little bit more exciting than playing chess. So yeah, we're going to get after it. Did a lot of organizing here. I'm probably going to pull the rear end out of it. I need to find someone to polish up these wheels so I can get them back to my buddy, Corey, from Corey's Paint and Auto Body up in Newcomerstown, Ohio. He let me borrow these wheels. I've had them for a while because his car was in chassis jail for a while, and right now he's just busy doing business stuff. So I need to find someone to polish up these wheels before I can go give them back to him, and then we're going to get those back to him. But the plan is today, get the rear end out of it. So there's my 6-minute ramble. Guys, I hope you appreciate it. I hope you, I mean, it's a little bit of a ramble, but you guys like the stories too, so I try to fit a little bit of that into the videos, and not everyone likes that, and that's okay. But welcome to Hustling Horsepower, where I'm the producer. No, I appreciate all the input, guys. If you want more structured videos, as far as if you want, tell me what you want to see in a video. If you want a specific video, or there's several people that want a specific video, I'll go and focus on that itself. Now, certain technicalities and stuff like that, it gets a little bit hard to describe, but it is what it is. I'm going to get to work. We're going to pull out the rear end, and pull out the rear end so I can get that in place, because this rear end we're reusing the rear end of the Homegrown Hustler. It still turns freely. Everything's good in the rear end. The bracket got ground down a little bit. I'll replace it at some point, or build another rear end at some point. But for right now, we're just going to move it up one bolt hole. And once I get the height of the rear end in there at ride height on a 28, then I'm going to put in my pickup points for the ladder bar setup on the chassis. So I need the rear end in first, so I know what angles I got to play with here. We're going to run this car 90% on a small tire, so I'm going to favor the car a little bit more towards separation versus squatting, as far as the pickup points and stuff like that. But I'm going to get to it, and my phone's probably ready to die, so I might put you all on time lapse or something like that, and maybe not. So time to get after it. So guys, I don't like the adjustability of these brackets. Not that it's anything to do with the brackets themselves, but I essentially wasted $200 and a bit of my time modifying these brackets, when I would have been better off just machining them from scratch. So here we are modifying the things, and the benefit is I get to teach you guys something new. So I'm going to go through here, and we're going to run the mill over here, and we're going to modify these brackets a little bit so I have the normal amount of adjustability that I had in the Homegrown Hustler on this car. So I guess I'll walk you through the process. So guys, this is your x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. The z would be essentially the drill press coming down. This is a turret here. This one actually has a electronic drive on it. And then you have your turret here to go forward and backward. And then you got that there that actually raises the table up and down. This one does have a digital finder here, but it's not working. I don't know if it doesn't work. I don't know, whatever. So I get to teach you how to use this turret. 0, and I guess we'll go through here, and you can see it goes all the way up to 200, 190 plus 0. Okay, there's 10 increments there. 200
is 200 thou. Each one of these is 1/1000th of an inch. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way up to 200 thou. That means 5 rotations is 1 inch. So 200 times 5 is 1 inch. So we're gonna go through here, and there's always going to be a little bit of backlash in all the tables. The older the table is, the more backlash it's going to have. That backlash is this movement here without the table moving. So whenever you're going to set your 0, you bring it back up, get it to 0, and then there's this collar here, boom, break it free, and you set it to 0. Or if you're a different type of person, or if you know you got to go 100 thou, you can set it to 100. And then you can past it, and you bring it back here like this to 0. And then that'd be your 100,000ths. So I'm gonna go through here. I know that I gotta increase these brackets a little bit. I'm gonna drill a couple holes here. There's gonna be a hole 3 inches farther up here, and then another 1.5 inches past there. So that means this is gonna be 3 inches would be 15 rotations, and then here, so on and so forth. So I'll walk you through the process. So guys, I'm gonna go through here, and I'm gonna mark this hole here. Okay, so we're gonna turn the turret here to 0. We're going to check it and bring the backlash out of it. And I know I got to be working the table this way, so boom. This table has about 10,000 slop in it, which isn't a lot. That's my 0 mark. Boom. Then we could check it here. These spaces on these brackets here are 750 thousandths, so there'll be 3 rotations is 600 thousandths plus 150. So 1, 2, 3. Bring it to 0. Ah! I went the wrong way. Cut. I'm a jackass. If we're going to check it this way, we'd go like here, index it, take that 10,000 slop out of it. We'll go 200, 400, 600, 700, 50, and boom, right through. Okay? Now we're going to go back the other way. Take the slop out of it. Bring it back to 0. 200. 400, 600, 700, 50. Boom. Now we need to go 3 inches. So we're going to bring this back instead of at 50. We're going to set it at 0. We're going to go 3 inches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 22. Actually, 22.5. I think it needs to be. Yep, 22.5. 22.5. Because going 2,250 whatever it is, thousands. First one done. Hey guys, it is 3:30 in the morning. There's not a soul in sight. It's just a young guy working on his race car on a Friday night. Actually,
It's probably Saturday morning because it's like it's 5 o'clock in the morning right now, so I lied to you. But I just got done machining these guys up. I went through and I had these brackets up on the chassis, and I started measuring some things, and I just didn't like the amount of adjustability that I had. So I threw them up in the lathe as you saw in the video, and I made it so these brackets can slide up and down a whole lot more. It is a ladder bar setup that I'm building for this car. There will be possibly down the road a 4-link bracket setup that I put on the car, but right now I like the ladder bar setup for different reasons. This hole right here is essentially the instant center hole. The instant center on a ladder bar setup is a fixed length, generally speaking, a fixed length, and that length is from your axle center line to this hole here. So on a side profile, this sits in there sideways. I gotta talk fast, guys. I'm sorry, my phone's at like 3%. So we're at a fixed length, but I have a very good adjustability with my instant center height. Now the length is fixed because it just is what it is with the ladder bar setup. Most. I'm not going to get into there. But the height is adjustable with these setups. It is adjustable by 1/2 inch increments for the most part. And then up here, I did an 1.5 inch adjustment, or a 1 inch adjustment, just because I don't need it super fine with the ladder bar setup. You see all these holes here? Those are generally for a 4-link setup. 4-link setup, you're using 2 bars to pick up your point. So a 1/2 inch adjustment on down low, or a 1/2 inch adjustment up high. It's actually 1/4 inch adjustments because you go in or out. It's a little bit more needed. With a regular ladder bar setup, a 1/2 inch adjustment or 1 inch of adjustment is not overly critical. Good enough. I'm gonna go take a shower, wash up, get a video out for you guys tomorrow. Then we're headed to Shadyside to go hang out with some Boosters, my friend, and Brutal Speed and Tuning. Nigel and those guys, they're racing for Shadyside. So guys, if you see this video, we're probably up at Shadyside. See you guys there.